What's Hilijang, South Africa? Hochhandit. Folks, I've been reticent to report on this story about Groblersdal because there hasn't been much information outside of Afrikaans reported on it until just the past 24 hours. Additionally, I've been very busy here with events in the United States for the past 3 weeks, which have kept me away from the scene reporting on news in South Africa, specifically prepared videos like this. But an op-ed piece appearing in the city press today has gotten my attention. The title of that op-ed is Groblersdal Guard Dog Attack, a Shameful Display of Racism in Democratic South Africa. Now, in this op-ed, the paper talks about a previous attack a year ago, and this accused or claimed attack that's taking place now. They say that both attacks appear to be racially motivated. How so? Because white folks are accused of attacking black folks, does that make it racist? Whenever a white person punches a black person or attacks a black person, is it racially motivated? If that's their evidence of racially motivated attacks, the South African Police Service better get busy with rural farm murders and assaults, most of which are black on white crimes of horrific nature. Just because black and white people are involved doesn't mean it's racially motivated. They offer no evidence. It may indeed be racially motivated, but they offer zero evidence of it. This is what passes for journalism in today's 21st century. It's pathetic. Now here, this is where City Press really puts themselves down the line, and they open themselves up to legal case right here. This quote, the Bezuidenhout claim to fame is that they were founded by Steve Hofmeyr, the son of avowed racist Steve Hofmeyr. The son was himself clopped by EFF members when a group marched in protest to Red Berets headquarters in Johannesburg last year. Now, let's be very clear about this. Those who watched the news reports and saw that none of the little wusses in the EFF clopped anybody. And neither group really should have been involved in that. But the bottom line is that's simply factually dishonest and a lie, to say the very least. Now, the truth of the matter is that this op-ed is libel. Under South African law, one could easily ask if it's also criminal injuria. City Press has gotten a bit careless with its mouth in its rush to pander to race hustlers. That's right. Perhaps City Press's editorial board should think before publishing. Now, what evidence do they have to make such an assertion that Steve Hofmeyr is an avowed racist? Their opinion? Are they referring to his constitutionally guaranteed right to defend his own culture, which all ethnic groups in South Africa have a constitutional right to protect their culture? It would appear that Steve Hofmeyr, who was recently himself forced to pay a judgment for a random comment on Twitter that did not injure any specific person, has a case to go after City Press for defamation, criminal injuria, and perhaps even libel. This is what happens when legacy media attempt to run the news cycle instead of simply reporting the facts. Newspapers are welcome to publish op-ed. As an independent journalist, I often do opinion editorial pieces, but I'm clear about that. And I remain unbiased in my analysis. Whereas City Press here makes an unfounded claim that Steve Hofmeyr is an avowed racist. They also factually get things wrong, talking about how the EFF clopped the Bezuidenhout. No, that never happened. That's pretty funny. Really? The EFF is terrified of the Bezuidenhout. Anyway, the point here is that this is a shameful piece of garbage. And many South Africans will believe this. A certain crowd of lunatics on the political left will believe this nonsense. But I'll tell you what, if you're City Press, you might want to call your lawyers because you've made a mistake here. And we'll see if it's followed through in the courts. The weak case that went against Steve Hofmeyr for his comment on Twitter, this is a much stronger case he has against City Press. Their opinion is their opinion. But when you libel someone in print, there are consequences to free speech. That's the bottom line. So we'll see what happens here. But wow, crazy world indeed. Thanks a lot, folks.